So I just got the brake master cylinder out, and I wanted to show you a few things here. Now this is definitely the original master cylinder in this car. It's 260,000 miles, 36-year-old car. Pretty funky here. So let's see if I can get in there and show you all that crud that's in there. Just look at all that junk. Yeah. All that sediment and rust at the bottom of that. So that's why I wanted to change the master cylinder out. I mean, it was leaking anyways. So I've got the new master cylinder here now. This is obviously, a reproduction. There's a number of differences on this. I mean, as long as it worked, it's fine. So, but it's definitely, there's some differences here, like the cap. You can see the caps are a little bit different here. The design is different from this cap, the shape of it. A couple other things, like this fitting is different here versus this one. It's a little bit different. So there's some differences, but it should work fine. These caps, there's no O-ring or anything that seals these. So it's just a press fit, and then this clamp just holds it on there. And actually these came, they were in the wrong position for the reservoir. They were in the wrong o'clock position, so I moved them. This one's about 4 o'clock position, assuming that the master cylinder is, say, in the 3 to 9 position. These were out of position. The clamps were actually in different positions too. So I took the clamps off, I matched them up how the OE clamp position was, and then I rotated these to the correct o'clock position. So this one should be about 4 o'clock, and this one's about 5 o'clock position. So that the hoses and the reservoir match up, these two hoses here. And you can just see the crud that's in the bottom of this. So I'll spray this out with some brake parts cleaner and get this all nice and cleaned up. Worth it to take some extra time and clean it out, get all that gunk out of there. And then also, this master cylinder did not come with crush washers for the banjo bolt. Let me just show you this. I actually went to Napa and got some new crush washers. They just had to match them up. I didn't know the size, so hopefully those work. Should be fine. But this banjo bolt goes on right here, and then that attaches to the master cylinder there. So, but I just also want to show you. Look at all that crud and rust and junk down there. So, this thing's, you can usually tell when the master cylinder is leaking because down the brake booster, the paint will be all chewed up and falling apart. So this thing's just been leaking for years. The brake light was constantly coming on. The level sensor in the reservoir was saying the brake fluid was low, and you can just see it's been leaking for years. So I'll get that all cleaned up and put back in, and we'll go ahead and fill it up with brake fluid and start bleeding the brakes. So I just pulled the caliper slide pin off, and it's bone dry. There's nothing on it. Looks like there was some lubricant at some point, but yeah, and it was pretty tough to get out. It's not completely, it wasn't completely frozen solid in there, but not good. So that's why it's a good idea to check these things. You can see the brake pads aren't that old, so somebody probably just took these out, put the pads in, threw these back in without doing any lubrication to these. But you gotta lubricate these to keep the caliper from not sticking and the pads wearing evenly. Really important. So I've got some of this stuff here. I'll just coat these pins, make sure they go back and forth freely, and then that'll be it. So got everything finished with the brake system, bled them yesterday. Everything seems good, can't see any leaks. Got the master cylinder all installed right here. New master there. Cleaned out that reservoir. new brake lines in. Also, too, I just wanted to note, when you bleed the brakes, there's a certain procedure here. You have to add the modulator into the, you have to bleed the modulator as well. So you can see, you know, start with the rears, and then the modulator is number 3. So that's here. That's actually, the modulator is actually the ABS pump. So this car has ABS rear only, and in fact this never changed throughout the model years. So from 83 up till the last production year of 89, they had the same modulator pump. So yeah, Mitsubishi never really updated the system, and the fact that this is rear only is not very good. Most guys take this pump out because some people swear that it works. I don't see that it works very well. I think it's a little gimmicky, but a lot of guys take that out and bypass it. So you got these 2 lines here, and they just connect those 2 lines together, or take that out and then run a line from the proportioning valve straight to the rear. But I'm trying to keep this car original, so I've decided to leave it in. So I made sure when I bled the system that I included that in the bleeding procedure. So yeah, that's it. That's just gonna put the wheels back on and we're done. And just keep an eye on the lines, make sure those aftermarket Dorman hoses don't leak, and that's about it. All right, thanks for watching.